Hello, welcome. I'm your host, Neil Howard, and you're listening to the Beyond Borders podcast, where we show you the benefits of outsourcing and how your company can grow and learn from outsourcing. We're going to be speaking with returning guest, Mr. David Schnitt, joining us here as President and CEO of Offsite Office. When we were here before, we did talk a lot about Offsite Office, but we're going to talk about another aspect of David's endeavors, IQ Back Office. Welcome back, David. Thank you so much for returning.
Thanks for having me.
Well, for those who may not be familiar with you, give us a little bit of a professional background and talk about what excites you most about offshoring.
So my background really comes out of working at Deloitte in consulting. And when I was there, I spent a lot of time re-engineering clients' back office processes. And what we found in most cases was we were able to improve all of the key metrics around those processes in terms of quality and timeliness and service levels, while also saving significant amounts of cost. And through that work that we did, what we found was that large companies have a significantly greater advantage against large to mid-size and smaller companies in terms of being efficient in back office functions. And in fact, if you look at the data, what you see is that the largest companies, which is companies over $10 billion in revenue, will generally spend anywhere from half to 20% of what a mid-size or small company will spend to handle their finance and accounting functions as a percentage of revenue. And through that work, we realized that there's an opportunity here to help most businesses, because only a few businesses are over $10 billion in revenue, most businesses be efficient and compete and get a Fortune 500 quality back office.
What prompts a client to seek outsourcing services? Is that something that, clients are banging down the door, or do you have to do a bit of persuasion?
So it depends on what the company is looking for, but in general, what we find is there are a number of trends that are helping companies make the easy decision to outsource. Specifically, these days, companies are really having a hard time finding good talent in back office functions. If you take accounting as an example, what we see is that the number of accounting grads has gone down by 25% over the last 4 or 5 years. We also found that 3/4 of all accountants are retiring within the next 10 years. And so if you see and you try to hire people with accounting skills today, what you find is it's hard to find them. Their salaries have skyrocketed, and that puts a lot of pressure on businesses. We also see that there's a lot of new technology that has been implemented or developed to help companies manage these processes and be more efficient. But it's really daunting to be able to figure out what's the right thing for my company, how do I implement it, how do I take advantage of it. And we find, in fact, that most companies that implement technology in the back office often have a negative ROI in doing so, because it is very difficult for them to handle it properly. You have to have the right expertise. You have to have enough scale. And unless you're a multi-billion-dollar company, generally implementation of technology and re-engineering to take advantage of the technology just has a negative ROI because there's not enough volume of transactions to really process and to get a positive ROI. So all of those things have led companies to look to outsourcing, where they can hire a firm that can do all those things for them, that can make them efficient, have best practices, state-of-the-art technology, and give them the knowledge and the guarantee that they will have high quality, fast turnaround, and excellent service levels.
What's the biggest misconception in your experience when a client is learning about outsourcing and offshoring? What's the biggest thing that you have to turn their minds around about?
I think the biggest thing is around fear of loss of control. Companies think that if this particular process, whatever it is being done in my office, I have control over it. But what we show our clients is that if you look at the metrics around those processes, what is their quality? What is their turnaround time? What are their service levels? We find that they are woefully underperforming the benchmarks. And so we can demonstrate through all the clients that we have that we're able to help them improve all of those processes and save about 50% on average at the same time. So that is the biggest misconception that companies have is, am I going to lose control? And what we say is, no, you're actually going to gain control because things will be done properly, things will be done timely, and you'll have a dashboard so you know the status of everything in real time.
Now, it's my understanding that Offsite Office is based in Los Angeles. Is that the case with IQ Back Office as well?
Yes, we're both located in LA.
When your client finds out that your staff is located overseas, is there any hesitation? Do you have to convince a bit more, persuade them to use your offices overseas?
It used to be the case that some people were concerned about it, but these days, not really. People are used to working with folks overseas. The biggest question is, will they work my hours? And the answer is yes. We always work our clients' hours, so there's no issue, and communication can be immediate.
Do you ever find yourself navigating cultural issues with the client based on the fact that you're based overseas with a corporate office in the United States?
Not really, because we have a team called our client services team that manages the relationship with our clients and manages the relationship with the teams. And so it ends up being pretty seamless. Most clients have experience working with folks offshore. And if they haven't, it's really not that difficult. And there may be some cultural issues, at the beginning, but we actually also help clients with that. We give them some training on how to work with folks overseas, and our folks as well. We give them training on how to work with folks in North America as well.
Talk about the culture of outsourcing and offshoring overseas as it relates to the United States. You say most of them want to deal with Western clients.
So what's really interesting and people don't realize is that folks who are overseas generally are very well educated. A lot of people that we hire, are on the accounting side are not only college educated, but also have CPAs and have spent time working for accounting firms and auditing firms. So they're very well educated, but when it comes time to work with foreign companies, they don't always have the ability to do that because they're in their own local country. So when they have the chance to work with American and Canadian companies, they're very excited and really want to focus on that. And so because of that, we're able to attract the best talent globally, and we give them a lot of training and a lot of infrastructure to help them be successful. But mostly, they're really, really excited to work with our clients because they know they can learn from them and it's great for their career. And so we find that turnover and attrition is far less with our team than we find here in the U.S.
David, how can people get in touch with you and get much more information about IQ Back Office?
So our website is www.iqbackoffice.com, and you can fill out a contact us form, or you can call the number that's on the webpage.
Great. David, always a pleasure. Thank you so much for lending us some more of your time, and I'm hoping that we can speak again.
Thank you. Take care.
You've been listening to Beyond Borders podcast. I'm your host, Neil Howard, in conversation with returning guest, Mr. David Schnitt. You can find out more at www.verticalinternetmedia.com and our BPO services at www.outsourcingfit.com.